What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Reasonable Doubt Season 2, Episode 7. I think we're on. So we're almost at the end because I think it's only 9 episodes. So we're going to be finding out what really happened pretty soon. At this point, I know some of y'all told me that y'all think y'all know who did it and y'all think y'all figured it out. I'm going to be honest and tell y'all I don't think I have. I do think I have a strong suspicion, but I don't. I think I already told y'all that I think she's protecting one of her children. That's the only people that I can think of that is worth me going to jail for is a child. Maybe a parent. I shouldn't say maybe. I would do it for my parents. But those are really the only two people that I would be willing to go to jail for. But anyway, neither here nor there. We pick up where we left off with Jax confronting Lewis about being Tony baby daddy. And, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I was a little bit in Lewis's corner until Jax was like, I asked you and you lied to me. I asked you because he told her he slept with somebody while they were separated. But she asked him, do I know the person? And he told her no. And then she asked him something else. She asked him and he lied. And then when the whole thing about Tony came up, of course, he acted like he didn't know nothing about it. Now, the flip side of that is, Lewis, you were stupid. Because you slept with this woman that you knew your wife. And you did it without protection. So you left yourself open to the possibility of what we dealing with now. Now, the flip side of that is what he does admit later on in this episode is basically, you hurt me, I hurt you. So I think that whether it was conscious or unconsciously, he purposely slept with somebody that he knew was going to hurt Jax. If she ever found out, right? Now, this episode was a lot of flashbacks to the Jax and Lewis love story. And some of it is a repeat from season 1. Like, we know that they met when she rear-ended him because her mom was distracted thinking about the ex-con that she ended up getting into the situation with season 1. Go back and watch season 1 if you haven't watched it yet. But then we do get a little more flashback into their relationship, of them dating and their marriage and when they had kids. And it really shows them in a really, really good light throughout this episode. The only negative part that we kind of see is when he asked Jax for help getting ready to do a presentation at work, and he sort of gets offended by her critique, which really wasn't that critique, but you could tell how sensitive he was to anything negative coming from Jax, right? But anyway, Jax confronts him, and there really are no right answers to the questions she's asking him. Because he said, well, I was going to tell you, but honestly, I was just going to wait until I found out if I was the daddy or not. Because if I wasn't the daddy, then there really wasn't no need for me to tell you nothing. And I'm sure as soon as that came out his mouth, he wanted to put it back in. Because then he said, well, I was going to tell you tonight because I couldn't keep the secret from you much longer. And of course, at this point, she doesn't believe him because she's like, you're only telling me because you're forced to tell me. I don't feel like you would have ever told me. And now we're stuck in this situation where you might have had a break baby. So she tells him to get the hell out. And he was like, well, where am I supposed to go, baby? She said, do you think I give a fuck? And I'm going to be honest, Lewis, that was a dumb question. Because, sir, she told you to get out. You should have been ready for that. Like, you should have already had some money on your credit card. Something. Like, you don't have a credit card, you can just go swipe for the night. A parking lot you can sleep in without worrying about the po-po coming to get you. Like, bruh, you had to have a backup plan for this situation. Because even if you had every intention of telling Jax and Jax did not know, you had to know it was a possibility that Jax was going to tell your ass, I need a night to myself. But neither here nor there. He left. The next day they do text each other and they have couples therapy. And they have couples therapy where they agree to still go to couples therapy, baby. Even the therapist, when they get to couples therapy, baby, even the therapist was like, wow. Well, that's a lie. And In the couples therapy, Jax really comes at him really hard. Like she said, I can't believe you turned out to be one of them no good niggas. Like you just became another one of them. Like I always thought you were my king. I always held you on a pedestal, and now I'm looking at you like you just another one of them no good niggas. And basically, he comes to her. He says, "So wait a minute." He said, "Hold up." He said, I screwed up. True that. He said, but what we not gonna do is act like you've been an angel and I'm the only one. He said, you out here having affairs. You done messed around and slept with your psycho ex-convict client who damn near tried to kill you. And who had to be there to pick up those pieces? It was me. He said, who had to be there to pick up the pieces of when you wake up in the middle of the night screaming his name out of terror, but nonetheless, who was there holding you until you fell back asleep? Baby, that was me. So yeah, I did. I screwed up, and I screwed up really bad, but we're not going to act like it's one-sided and that I haven't had to excuse you for all of the times that work took the precedence over us and our family. Like, we ain't going to sit here and act like that. And to be fair, he has a point to a certain extent. Now, when Jax ends up going to work, baby, she got a lot on her mind because let's understand something now. The woman, her best friend, that she is now co-chair defending that is accused of unaliving her husband with malice, not in self-defense. Come to find out, the woman that was sleeping with her best friend's husband was also sleeping with her husband who is now pregnant and they don't know who the daddy is. It's a lot, okay? Now, she doesn't really tell Morris Chestnut about it. I don't know why I can't never remember that man's name. I know it starts with a C. Is it Charles? Chambers? Champ? Anyway, Morris. We also found out that her secretary wants to become a lawyer. So she is studying for the LSAT. And for some reason, she's scared to tell Jax. I still don't understand why she was nervous about telling Jax. But when she ends up telling Jax, Jax is happy for her. Morris Chestnut is happy for her. Everybody seems to be happy for her. So I'm really not sure. Maybe it's something that's going to come up later or something that we can't see to understand. But I honestly don't understand why she felt some kind of way about it. But she's getting ready to become an attorney. She wants to take the LSAT and go to law school, and all of those things. Now, Lucy, first of all, Lucy pulled a Marsha Clark on us. For those of you who remember the OJ trial, and I know I still owe y'all that last OJ video. We're going to get to it. But the Marsha Clark, the OJ Simpson trial, remember when Marsha Clark got a makeover in mid-trial when she changed her hair and all that stuff? Baby, Lucy then gave us a good old bob. Lucy then went from that, like, salt and pepper, gray hair that was slicked back and a little curly, a little something she had going on, to this cute little bob that she clearly dyed. Now, I don't know if it's a wig or a bob. And I don't know if she was trying to, present herself a certain way. Or maybe she was just, hiding from the people. I really don't know. But what I do know is Lucy look cute. But what we found out is that Lucy, I guess it's her baby daddy. We don't know if it's her ex-husband / baby daddy, but baby, he is stalking her. He is the one because she is terrified of him. He showed up down to the courthouse with flowers and everything, and she told the security guard, listen, he has a restraining order. He is not supposed to be here. He is stalking me. So they put him out of the courthouse. But he said something about I'm ready to be a better father or something like that. So that's how I feel like he's the father of her son. And then later on in the episode, baby, she gets served. So I'm wondering if this man is serving her with some sort of divorce papers or child support or visitation or something. But Lucy got a lot going on. But like I told y'all in the last review, I honestly do not feel like this situation is going to be resolved in this season. I really feel like that is the springboard into season 3. I feel like maybe Lucy ends up doing something to this man, or the man ends up doing something to Lucy, or maybe I feel like they're not going to repeat the same crime. So maybe the husband or ex-husband or whoever he is, maybe he kidnaps the son, and next season is all about them trying to find the son and helping out Lucy, or maybe Lucy does something. I don't know, but I feel like Lucy's storyline is our springboard for next season, if there is a next season. I hope there is one because I really like this show, but neither here nor there. Now, we see Jax go out to drinks with her girlfriends. Now, we already know that her one girlfriend, that is Chanel's cousin in real life, that put her house up on the market for Chanel, she already really ain't feeling Jax and the other girlfriend because she feel like, that they just was they really they taking this thing too light. Now I think some of that is her own guilt that she is projecting on her friends because she put her house up there for bail, and she about to lose her house and her husband. So I feel like she kind of going through some stuff on her own, and she's kind of pushing that off because Jax is telling them about Lewis sleeping with Tony and maybe being the baby daddy, and she throwing it back at Jackson, was like, well, I hope this doesn't make you lose focus on what's really going on. I need your A game to help Chanel. I need you to be on your game. And she was like, well, damn. Like, girl, you know I got your cousin's best interest at heart, but what I need you to do, I need you to understand that at the end of the day, I'm still a person dealing with my own personal shit. And my husband, I found out, slept with the neighborhood hoe and might be a baby daddy, and then I got to deal with that, whether I want to keep my husband, not keep my husband. I got to deal with all of that, okay? Because the therapist told them, first of all, I don't want to see y'all together right now. I need to see y'all individually, okay? I need to have some individual sessions with y'all. And what I found, I love the way he worded it. He said, you guys are going to have to make a decision if you can accept the worst version of yourselves, or if y'all want a divorce. Now, he called it uncoupling. He did not call divorce. He did not use the word divorce, but he said uncoupling. So y'all need to figure out if y'all are ready to accept the worst version of yourselves and move forward and find a way to still be a couple and be together, or I can help y'all figure out how to untangle this thing. Okay? And I think that made it real. Like, I think that made it real for both of them. Then we find out that Lewis done went over to old girl's house, that the one who put the house up for the bond for Chanel. Her husband is letting Lewis sleep on the couch. Lewis, you don't have no other friends. Because I feel like they got their own set of issues, and they got enough of their own shit that they don't need you sleeping on their couch. Because, of course, she walks in the door and she goes straight at Lewis and call him an ain't shit nigga. Now, I understand that that's your house, but that was mad disrespectful. And Lewis had to just take it because for whatever reason, Lewis can't swipe his credit card and go to the Holiday Inn. You don't even have to stay you don't even have to stay at the Ritz. I mean, you can't just get a couple of nights down to the Marriott. I don't understand these people that just always got to sleep on somebody's couch. Neither here nor there. Jax is going through, and the son feel like something is up. Like, the son feel like mommy ain't, but Jax is putting up a good front and not telling them what's going on. The husband, he feeling some kind of way. And they are moving around each other, for the majority of this episode. Again, Jax goes to her individual therapy, with the therapist, and Lewis goes to his individual therapy. And they're both, in my opinion, very open and very candid about what it is that they feel and how they feel about it and what they're dealing with individually and what that looks like for the family. And they really do love each other. But they do have these patterns of hurting each other. They have these patterns of making these decisions where they're going to end up hurting each other and how they deal with that moving forward. Now, Morris Chestnut decides that it's a good idea for Jax to cross-examine Tony because Tony is going to testify. And, of course, at first, Jax was like, wait, what? Why I got it to... But he was like, because it's never a good look for a male attorney to be beating up on the female witness. And I need to go hard at her because we need to be able to prove that Chanel didn't know that she was pregnant before JT died. Because if not, then it looks like part of Chanel's... It looks like that was part of her motivation for, doing what she did to JT. So Jax was like, you're right. Strategy-wise, you're right. And she doesn't tell him, what it is. She don't tell him what's going on, but she was like, you're right. I mean, that's probably the best thing. Now, the other thing we find out in our flashbacks, y'all remember last season, for those of us who watched last season, when Jax got it in with the dude, and she knew that Lewis was watching her on camera, and she was looking at the camera, making eye contact while she was riding that dude. And he said, don't act like it ain't the first time. I done never watched you like that. No, she said, don't act like it ain't the first time. You ain't never watched me. So I assumed that they had gotten into some like threesome situations at one point in their life. But come to find out, child, they went down to the sex club and they did a little swinging. And listen, I have friends who indulge in alternative lifestyles. So I don't look down on nobody and I don't judge nobody for it. But I was a little surprised to see that they got into the do, the woo, the do, and the do, because they jumped into it real easy. Like they ain't really have no whole lot of because they showed a scene about them going down to the club and the dude rolling up on Jax and it just went down. So now we know what the origin of that was. And that just doesn't seem to be their issue, right? I mean, other than when he threw it in her face last season, but that wasn't even why he was throwing it in her face last season. Like, or she was throwing it in his face last season. Baby, let me tell you something. Jax, when she hit that cross-examination of Tony, baby, she left no crumbs on the ground. Baby, she hit Tony with the, so you said that you thought you and Chanel were friends. Because, you know, Tony testified that Chanel just stopped speaking to me and, you know, I thought we were friends. And she said, well, wait a minute. You were sleeping with her husband though, right? Yeah. She was like, so she stopped speaking to you after she found out you were sleeping with her husband? Yeah. She said, weren't you helping her plan her daughter's birthday party when you started sleeping with her husband? So, of course, that don't make her look good. Because if I was on the jury, I'd be side-eyeing the fuck out of her. How you gonna sit here and act like that woman did something to you by stop speaking to you when she found out you were sleeping with her husband? For real, y'all supposed to still be friends? Y'all still supposed to be planning birthday parties and play dates and shit? Are you serious? She was like, she just stopped speaking to me. She wouldn't let my kids play with me anymore. Or play with my kids anymore. So, baby, Jax was like, well, is it true or not true that JT wasn't the only man you were sleeping with during this time, correct? And of course she had to say no. She said, and you know, did Tony know that you were pregnant before JT died? No, she didn't know. Oh, but true or not true, you don't know who the baby daddy is. Right? And you under oath. So baby, she had to sit there and admit that she ain't even know who the baby daddy was. Because we already know that Jax knew. And then she knew that Jax knew. And they knew that they knew together. But baby, she could only answer the questions. Because Jax was ready to object that she had tried to blurt something out. Although if it had been me, I'd have tried it. I'd have been like, nope, I don't know if it's your husband's or JT's. I'd have said it. They just would have had to strike it from the record. But the jury would have heard it. Shit, I sure would have said it. Sure would have. You done already embarrassed me and I had to admit that I was sleeping with more than one man. So I might as well let everybody know it was your husband. Might as well. That's what I would have done. But anyway. But Jax got her good. I mean, Lucy tried to object, but baby, Jax got her. It wasn't nothing to object to, child. It wasn't nothing to object to, okay? Wasn't nothing left to object to. So anyway, that's what had happened with that. Then they have the domestic violence expert testify. And baby, Chanel just tuned out. And she, later on, she was talking to Jax and Morris. And she said, I just don't know how much more of this I can take. She said, honestly, I just don't know. And he said, well, listen, we're putting on our case now. It's not much longer. You know, I need you to just hang in there with me. And so then she says, can I talk to Jax alone for a minute, please? Because she know her friend. And she saw Jax over there and she could tell something was wrong. She said, baby, what's going on? What's up? And baby, Jax broke down. She just let it go. She just told him all about the baby and Lewis and Tony and all of that. And they had a whole girlfriend moment. And see, that is what Jax needed from her girlfriends when she was telling them what was going on. She didn't need old girl coming at her talking about something. I still need you to put on your A game. See, that's because you dealing with your own bullshit. That's what that is. You dealing with your own bullshit. But neither here nor there. Most of us usually are. We dealing with our own stuff, child. Most of us are. I mean, that's what life is sometimes. So the moment of truth is upon us. And Lewis comes home with dinner for the family. And ends up dropping it on Jax, just as the kids are coming in to eat dinner, that he got the results of the paternity test and the baby is his. Baby. Baby Jax held it together as long as she could. She listened to the kids talk. She smiled and said all the right things. And then she told the babies that she had to. Well, we only saw it as a music montage, but I feel like she told the baby she had to go take a bath because she left and she gave each one of them a kiss, got up from the table, and then she went into that bathroom. And here come Lewis ass gonna talk about some Jackson. You okay? No, she ain't okay. You know she not okay. What's wrong with you? And baby Jax cried like a baby. And I felt so bad for her. I really did. I felt so bad for Jax. Because, I mean, what you supposed to do with that? Like, now you know that he is the father, which means that now you got to have a conversation with your kids. You got to deal with your colleagues and your family. And you got to deal with deciding whether or not you're going to raise this child that happened during a separation. Baby, I don't know if I could do it. It's one thing when you boyfriend and girlfriend and you have a break baby like Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade or Rachel and Ross. It's one thing when it's a break baby. It's another thing when it's a separation baby, meaning we were still married. I don't know if I could do it, y'all. Anyway. So Jax actually ended up working late one night with Morris. And he actually lets her know the whole story about why he's working so hard on this case. Come to find out, he had a former client, a guy who allegedly was putting his hands on his wife, but he got the guy off, and then come to find out later on that he really was putting his hands on his wife, and the wife ended up unaliving the husband, in self-defense, and now she's sitting in jail for something that he feels guilty. He feels like he could have prevented had he, I guess, believed that the guy really did something he wasn't supposed to do. I don't know. So Jax goes to comfort him, and that turns into them about the kiss. And she was like, "What we doing?" And he was like, "What you want to do?" And she was like, "I don't think we should do this." And he was like, "We could do whatever you want to do." And then she heard Lewis in her head saying, "This is our cycle. You hurt me, I hurt you, you hurt me back." So she realized that if she had slept with him, it would have really just been her trying to hurt him to get back at him for having this, baby on the way. And she walks away. She leaves. And then we get the flashback of their wedding day with Lufa playing in the background. And Lewis is over sleeping on Chris's couch thinking about her. And she laying in the bed thinking about him. And he having flashbacks on them dating and all the good times they had. And baby, he get in his car and he drive over to his wife and he gonna get his wife. He gonna save his marriage in the middle of the night. And that's where the episode ends. So listen, this episode really wasn't a lot on the case. It was more about Jax and Lewis, which I'm here for because we love them and we want to see where this goes. But we have 2 episodes left to solve the problem, honey. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.